I'd like to begin with an incident that occurred in my doctor's office about 4 years ago. I was 67 years old. I had just finished my annual wellness visit. My doctor shook my hand, said everything looks fine, see you next year, and walked out the door. The whole appointment was 11 minutes. I timed it, 11 minutes. Once a year. That is all most of us get. And in those 11 minutes, my doctor checked my blood pressure, reviewed my medications, ordered some blood work, and sent me on my way. He is a good doctor, a kind man. He is not doing anything wrong. But here is what bothers me. In those 11 minutes, he never told me the 6 things I am about to share with you today. Things that the research clearly supports. Things that would have genuinely changed how I approach my health after 60. Things that most doctors simply never bring up, not because they want to hide them, but because our medical system is not designed for those conversations. 11 minutes do not leave room for the important stuff. So today, I am going to be the doctor who takes the time. We are going to sit here together for the next few minutes, and I will tell you the 6 things your doctor will almost certainly never say out loud. Things that could genuinely add years to your life, and more importantly, quality to those years. Are you ready? Because number 3 completely changed the way I sleep. And number 5. I wish someone had told me this the day I retired. Let us get into it. Thing number 1. Your biological age and your calendar age are not the same thing. And you have far more control over this than you think. Your calendar age is simply the number of years since you were born. That number only goes in one direction. You cannot change it. But your biological age, which is how old your body actually functions on a cellular level, is something you have real power over. Here is what the research shows. 2 people can both be 68 years old and have biological ages that differ by 15 years or more. One person's body functions like a 58. The other person's body functions like a 73-year. Same calendar age, completely different biological reality, and the gap between those 2 people is not mostly genetics. The research from institutions like Harvard Medical School and the National Institute on Aging shows clearly that lifestyle choices account for the majority of biological aging. What you eat, how you move, how well you sleep, how connected you are to other people, how you manage stress. These things are actively writing the story of how old your body actually is right now. Your doctor rarely tells you this because there is no prescription for it. There is no procedure. There is no billing code for telling a patient that the choices they make every single Tuesday morning matter. Enormously, but they do. They matter more than most medications. And you are not too old for any of this to make a difference. I want you to hear that clearly. You are not too old for this to matter. My friend Robert, who is 74 and lives in Phoenix, started making simple changes at 71. Better sleep habits, a daily walk, more vegetables, less processed food. He went back for his physical at 72, and his doctor actually said, "Whatever you are doing, keep doing it." His markers had improved across the board. 3 years. That is all it took to shift his biological trajectory in a meaningful direction. Your doctor will not tell you this because the appointment is 11 minutes long, but I just did. And I want you to remember it. Thing number 2. Muscle loss after 60 is one of the most serious health threats you face, and almost nobody is talking about it. There is a condition called sarcopenia. That is the medical word for the gradual loss of muscle mass that begins in your 40s and accelerates significantly after 60. Most doctors never mention it by name. Most seniors have never heard of it, but here is why it matters so much. Muscle is not just about strength or how you look. Muscle is a metabolically active tissue that regulates your blood sugar, supports your joints, protects your bones, keeps your balance sharp, and literally holds your body upright. When you lose significant muscle mass, everything becomes harder and more dangerous. Falls become more likely. Blood sugar becomes harder to control. Recovery from illness slows dramatically. Energy drops. Independence becomes threatened. The research shows that after 60, the average person who does nothing to address this loses between 3 and 5% of their muscle mass every decade. That does not sound like much until you add it up over 20 years. But here is the good news. And this is the part your doctor really never tells you. Resistance training, even very gentle resistance training, can reverse muscle loss at any age. Studies have shown measurable muscle gains in people in their 70s, 80s, and even their 90s who began simple strength programs. Your muscles do not retire just because you did. You do not need a gym. You do not need expensive equipment. Chair squats, wall push-ups, light resistance bands, even carrying groceries intentionally, these things count. 10 minutes a day of simple resistance. Movement can make a measurable difference in your muscle health over months. Talk to your doctor before starting anything new. Ask specifically about resistance training appropriate for your situation. And if your doctor looks surprised that you are asking about strength training at your age, that is actually a sign that this conversation was long overdue. Many Medicare Advantage plans cover fitness. Memberships through programs like Silver Sneak. Check your plan. This might already be paid for. Let me ask you something right now. When did your doctor last talk to you about your muscles? Not your heart. Not your blood pressure. Your muscles specifically. Your strength. Your balance. If the answer is never, you now understand exactly why we are having this conversation today. Thing number 3. Poor sleep is not a normal part of aging, and it is silently wrecking your health in ways that go far beyond feeling tired. This one changed my life completely, for years. I accepted waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning as just part of getting older. I figured my body needed less sleep. I figured this was normal. I never once brought it up to my doctor because I assumed there was nothing to be done. I was completely wrong on every count. Here is what the research actually shows. Poor sleep in adults over 60 is directly linked to accelerated cognitive decline, meaning your brain ages faster. It is linked to higher rates of heart disease, diabetes, depression, and weakened immune function. During deep sleep, your brain literally cleans itself, flushing out waste products, including the proteins associated with Alzheimer's disease. When you do not get adequate deep sleep, that cleaning process is interrupted night after night after night. Chronic poor sleep is not just uncomfortable. It is genuinely dangerous. And here is the part that stunned me when I finally learned it. For most adults over 60, poor sleep is treatable. Not with habit changes alone. Not by accepting it. Actually, medically treatable. Conditions like sleep apnea, which is massively underdiagnosed in adults over 60, can cause dozens of nighttime awakenings that you may not even remember. Restless leg syndrome affects a significant percentage of older adults and is completely treatable. Medication timing, which most doctors never discuss, can dramatically affect sleep quality. Even something as simple as bedroom temperature plays a measurable role. When I finally told my doctor I was sleeping poorly, she did not just hand me sleeping pills. She asked detailed questions. We found that 2 of my medications were best taken in the morning rather than at night. We discovered my bedroom was too warm. We made for small changes, and within 3 weeks, I was sleeping 6.5 to 7 hours consistently for the first time in years. My energy changed. My mood changed. My concentration changed. Please tell your doctor if you are not sleeping well. Do not wait. Do not assume this is just aging. It may not be. And Medicare covers sleep studies. If your doctor refers you for one, this conversation could change everything. Thing number 4. Loneliness is a physical health condition, not a feeling, a condition, and it is as dangerous as smoking a pack of cigarettes every day. I know that sounds dramatic, but this is not my opinion. This is what decades of peer-reviewed research consistently show. Social isolation and chronic loneliness raise cortisol levels, the stress hormone that drives inflammation throughout your entire body. Chronic inflammation is directly linked to heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes, and accelerated aging. Lonely seniors have measurably shorter telomeres, which are the protective caps on your DNA that determine how fast your cells age. The Surgeon General of the United States issued a formal advisory on the loneliness epidemic in America, stating that it represents a significant public health crisis. This is not soft advice. This is federal health guidance, and yet your doctor almost certainly has never asked you in an appointment how connected you feel to other people. How often do you have meaningful conversations? Whether you have people who genuinely care about your well-being, because there is no pill for this, and there is no billing code, but there is something you can do about it starting today. Dorothy, who is 72 and lives outside of Atlanta, told me she had not realized how isolated she had become after her husband passed. She was functional. She was managing, but she was profoundly alone. She finally walked into her local senior center one Tuesday morning, terrified and convinced she would feel out of place. That was 2 years ago. She now goes 3 times a week. She has 3 friends she talks to regularly on the phone. She told me recently that she genuinely feels 10 years younger. Connection is medicine. Real, measurable, biological medicine. Find yours. Protect it. Prioritize it the same way you prioritize your blood pressure medication, because the research says it matters just as much. We are halfway through our 6 things, and I want to pause and ask you something personal. Which one of these have you needed to hear the most so far? Because we still have 2 to go, and they might be the most important ones of all. Thing number 5. Retirement without purpose is one of the leading drivers of early decline after 60, and nobody prepares you for this. We spend our entire working lives dreaming about retirement. The freedom, the rest, doing whatever we want, whenever we want. And then it arrives. And for millions of Americans, it is nothing like what they imagined, because what work actually provided, beyond the paycheck, was structure, identity, social connection, and a daily sense of purpose and contribution. When that disappears all at once, the body and the mind notice. Research from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that complete retirement increases the probability of depression by 40% and the probability of physical illness by 60%. Those are staggering numbers, and they are rarely discussed in the context of retirement. Planning. Your financial advisor helped you plan for retirement income. Your doctor checks your blood pressure, but nobody sits you down and says, listen, you need a plan for purpose after you stop working. because without one, your health will pay the price. Margaret, who retired at 63 after 35 years as a teacher in Florida, told me the first year of retirement was the worst year of her life. She had planned everything financially. She had planned nothing psychologically. By month 8, she was sleeping too much, eating poorly, and feeling invisible. She found her way through volunteering at a local literacy program. One morning, a week became 2. She found her people. She found her reason to get up on Tuesday morning, and it changed her physical health alongside her emotional health within months. Your reason does not need to be grand. It just needs to be yours. A garden, a grandchild you pour yourself into, a craft you have always wanted to learn, a community you join and contribute to, a person you mentor, something that makes this week different from last week and gives your days a shape that matters. Find it, build it, protect it like the health asset it genuinely is. Thing number 6. You have far more negotiating power in the American healthcare system than you know, and most seniors never use it. This last one is purely practical, and it might save you thousands of dollars and genuinely improve your medical care at the same time. Most Americans over 60 do not know that Medicare covers an annual wellness visit at absolutely no cost to you. Not a regular checkup. A wellness visit specifically designed to discuss prevention, health goals, and quality of life. You can bring a list of every question you have ever wanted to ask. You have the right to that conversation every single year, and it costs you nothing. Most Americans over 60 do not know that they have the right to request a longer appointment with their doctor. You can call ahead and say, I have several concerns I need to discuss, and I need a double appointment. Most practices will accommodate this. Most Americans over 60 do not know that they have the right to a second opinion on any diagnosis or treatment recommendation. Medicare covers second opinion consultations. Use them without guilt or embarrassment. Most Americans over 60 do not know that they can bring a trusted person to every appointment. A spouse, an adult child, a friend, to help take notes and ask questions. 2 sets of ears remember more than one. This is completely within your rights. And most Americans over 60 do not know that if a doctor consistently makes you feel rushed, dismissed, or unheard, you have every right to find a different doctor. Medicare gives you the freedom to change primary care physicians. Your comfort, your trust, and your voice in that exam room are not luxuries. They are necessities. You are not a passive recipient of care. You are an active participant in your own health. You have earned that right through decades of life and experience. Start acting like it. So let me bring this all together. 6 things your doctor will almost certainly never tell you. Your biological age is within your control. Muscle loss is a serious threat you can actually fight. Poor sleep is not something you just accept. Loneliness is a physical health condition that deserves a real solution. Retirement without purpose puts your health at risk, and you have far more power in the healthcare system than you have been using. None of this requires a prescription. None of this requires a lot of money. All of it requires simply deciding that you are worth the attention and the effort. Because you are. You absolutely are. Now I want to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these 6 things hit you the hardest? Which one are you going to act on first? Tell me below. I read every single comment, and I will respond to as many as I can. If this video gave you something valuable, please share it with someone you care about who is over 60. They deserve to hear this, too. And most of them will never hear it from their doctor in an 11-minute appointment. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our weekly videos. Because every week we have exactly these kinds of conversations, honest, practical, and built specifically for Americans over 60, who are done settling for less than their best possible life. Thank you so much for being here today. Now go make that doctor's appointment. Ask the hard questions. And remember, your best years are not behind you. They might be closer than you think.